Hello, everyone. I'm Omar. I'm one part of That Mill podcast. I'm introducing today the first edition of our weekly, hopefully, series of our Championship Prediction League game. So, if you're not aware, we have partnered up with News at Den, and at the end of the season, there will be prizes yet to be confirmed, but we will be sure to let you know what they will be once we hear. But basically, every week, we'll be doing our predictions for 12 games in the Championship, including, of course, Millwall's game, every week, and sharing them with you guys and encourage you guys to play along. So I'll go straight into showing my screen. And if you're not aware, I'll put links in the description below for you guys to play along. But very simply put, it is a little sign up, as always, just to put in your name, email address, and password. Once you're logged in, you'll be here to predict the scores. So obviously Friday evening, we've got Blackburn Derby and Preston Sheffield United. Saturday, we've got a whole bunch of games, and of course it ends on Sunday with Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth. Oh, sorry, Luton and Burnley too. I shouldn't forget that one. So yeah, basically simply put, we're going to predict the scores for each game, what we think the scores will be. Obviously 1-0s, 2-1s, 2-2s. I might just put all 2-1s because it's probably the algorithm way to play it. I'm sure Mickey will do the same. But each week, participants will predict the outcomes of championship matches. Points will be awarded for correct predictions with bonuses for exact score lines. The league will run throughout the entire 2024-25 season, giving you plenty of opportunities to climb the leaderboard. Here's the rules. You get 3 points for a correct score prediction, 1 point for a correct result prediction. Let me zoom in time more so you can see. You can submit your predictions up to 1 hour before kickoff. So obviously bear that in mind. I'm probably just going to do it weekly on a Thursday when I'm recording these videos, so you can just get out of the way and done. The worst part is if you forget, so we're not going to be doing that. And then obviously late entries will not be accepted, so make sure you get predictions in on time. So why join? Test your championship knowledge, compete against other Mill supporters, weekly and monthly prizes up for grabs, and grand prize for the overall season winner. Bragging rights among the Millwall faithful, as listed here as well. So yeah, sign up now. Very simple to do. Without further ado, I'm going to go through each of my predictions for each game. So we'll start off with the first game of the weekend. You've got 2 on Friday night. You've got Blackburn versus Derby. So I'm going to leave this as a 0-0. If you haven't seen it already, myself and Dan done our 1-24 predictions. I think Blackburn and Derby will both be in the bottom half of the table this season. I've actually got Derby to finish off bottom. I just think it will be a bit of a stalemate, a bit of a ball draw. And for that reason, I'm going to keep it 0-0. I'm going to put Sheffield United to beat Preston 2-1. I think, again, with Preston's case, I think they're going to struggle this season. Obviously, last season, they got off to a flying start under Ryan Lowe, and that kind of faded away as the season went on. But with that said, they're playing Sheffield United, who have just come down, a lot of uncertainty around their club. I just think they'll have enough to see off Preston in that game. So I'm going to click save predictions here, and that is completed for Friday. So we'll move on to Saturday's games. We've got a whole bunch of games. Loads at 12:30 due to Sky TV. Thank you so much. In fact, I think all games are on Saturday at 12:30, but there will be more as the season goes on. We've got, first up, Cardiff versus Sunderland. I'm going to sit on the fence and go 1-1 draw. I think Cardiff, obviously, last season, they finished quite strong. They finished around mid-table, not too far away from us, Millwall. And with Sunderland coming to town, I just suspect Cardiff will, put up a bit of a fight, but a 1-1 draw, I think, is probably a fair result. Hull versus Bristol City. So, Hull City, obviously a lot of uncertainty around them. They've not really signed any players just yet. They seem to be kind of shipping players out. But we do know that Hull will probably have a go this year. I think they will anyway and sign some players. But for the meantime, Bristol City comes to town, who've strengthened well. Jason Knight's there, Max Bird, both from Derby County. I'm going to go for another draw and sit on the fence, getting splinters up my backside here, a 1-1 draw. Next up, league favourites, and my favourites to win the league, Leeds United. It pays me to do it, but I think they'll win quite comfortably against the newly promoted Portsmouth. Welcome to the Championship, Portsmouth. A trip to Ellen Road. I'm sure their fans will love the day out. They've been stuck in League One for many years, but I think it only ends one way, and that's a 3-0 victory for Leeds United. As so. Next up, we've got Middlesbrough at home to Swansea City. I think Borough this year will go well. Obviously, last year didn't really hit the heights of the season prior to that. We covered it again, myself and Dan, in the last video. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already with our predictions of 1-24. I suspect Borough will be in the playoffs this year. Against the Swansea side, obviously, with Williams as their manager, who was the ex-Notts County manager. He's had a pre-season to bed it in with them. I think he's trying to go back to the Swansea way, supposedly. Obviously, they tried to move away with that with their previous manager. I suspect and I feel that Middlesbrough will get the result today on this game. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Here we are, the main one, the main event. Obviously, be sure to tune in to Friday Night Live tomorrow as the time of watching this. We'll be covering and previewing our game at home against Watford. I'm going in really confident. I really am. I won't go into too much detail because obviously we'll talk about it on the Friday Night Live. But I just see us winning on Saturday. I think it's set up for us to really kind of start the season well, finish where we left off. Obviously, we won 5 games back-to-back at the end of last season. Our summer's not been completed yet with the transfers, but I think there's enough in that squad, despite a few injuries, that I think will beat a Watford side that are tipped to struggle this year. So I'm going to go 2-0 victory for Millwall. I've done it. I'm sorry, guys. Please don't say I've given the kiss of death. I just think we're going to win on Saturday. Oxford United versus Norwich is next. I'm going to go for an away win, 2-1 to Norwich. Oxford obviously back in the Championship. Well, I can't remember last time we were in our division, to be honest. But Norwich City, you know, they've lost a couple of players. I know Sarah has gone to Galatasaray, but I just feel they'll have enough to win this game. So I'm going to go for 2-1 win to Norwich. Next up, we've got QPR against West Brom. I fancy West Brom to get a sneaky result here. I know, obviously, QPR, there's been a lot of anticipation around them this summer. And obviously, they had that new manager coming last year and got off to a really good kind of start under him. I just really think West Brom, despite the troubles they've got off the field, much like they did last season, they'll just continue to sustain their kind of selves at this level and, you know, be an outside chance of the playoffs. I had them finishing 8th place, I think, in my predictions, but I think they're going to win this game 1-0 on Saturday. Next up, we've got Stoke City versus Coventry, and I'm going to go for a Coventry 2-1 victory. I love Mark Robins as a manager. I think he's really transformed that club at Coventry. Obviously took them from, you know, the pits of League One, got them to the Championship, missed out on the playoffs a couple of seasons ago. Last season, you know, they kind of was close to it again. The FA Cup run might have curtailed their push really a little bit, but I think Coventry, probably one of my dark horses for this season. I did mention it. I had actually put them finishing 2nd place this season. So there you go, a little spoiler for you, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Coventry. And then we'll go over to Sunday fixtures, and we've got Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth. Wayne Rooney making his debut as Plymouth manager is the main talking point for me. I can see it being some goals in this game, to be honest. I think Rooney is going to want a point to prove this season with Plymouth. I think he'll struggle, if I'm totally honest. But first game of the season, all that kind of wow factor around it. Hillsborough will be buzzing. It's on a Sunday, 4 o'clock. Not many games on Sky this weekend. Obviously, the Premier League's not back yet. So I think there'll be some goals in this game. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Desmond's 2-2. Next up, final game of the weekend is Luton versus Burnley. So I'm going to go for a real crescendo. Obviously, it's Premier League, ex-Premier League against ex-Premier League. I think there'll be some goals again. And it's Monday night, bit of a Monday night football spectacle for us. And I'm going to go for a 3-2 victory to Luton. Bit of a turn up for the books. Obviously, Burnley's got a good playing squad, but Luton have kept a lot of their players too. So I just see some goals in this game. And there you go. When I go into the next fixture, it's next weekend, which we'll cover in next week's video. So there you have it. There's my predictions. I think there'll be some goals this weekend. I think there'll be plenty happening and lots going on to talk about after the weekend. I think we're going to win 2-0. Comment your lines. If you're going to play along, be sure to comment below your predictions as well. Let me know what you think of mine, and we'll catch you again soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video and subscribe if you're new, and roll on the season. Go on, Millwall!